From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
President Obama will announce his plan on immigration in just a few hours, possibly giving migrant farm workers across the country something to be thankful for this holiday season. And while some Valley leaders eagerly await the president's announcement, others feel tackling immigration should be a team effort. Plus, after Tuesday's big reveal, ASU hockey is already preparing for its D1 debut.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Annalise Ortiz. In less than 2 hours, President Obama will announce his plan for immigration reform. Groups across the country anxiously await the president's decision whether they agree with the approach or not. Cronkite News reporter Brittany Bade joins us live from Washington. Brittany.
The president promised he would take executive action on immigration reform after the midterm elections. And more than 2 weeks after the polls closed, he is finally following through on that promise. Here's what we can expect from the president's primetime address. A full restructuring of ICE, the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement Agency. Significant changes in eligibility for deferred action. That includes lengthening the protection period and protection for an estimated 5 million people living in the U.S. who would face deportation. One group the president will not address specifically is immigrant farm workers. They make up most of the workforce behind the turkey, potatoes, and pumpkin pie millions of Americans eat at Thanksgiving every year. At the White House, they argued that since they're the ones who produce Thanksgiving dinner, they should have the same rights as those who eat it.
My name is Maria. I have been working in the potato industry for 16 years.
Even with 16 years of backbreaking work, Maria still does not have the same rights as an American citizen.
So she says that she feels bad because, she's been working in the fields 19 plus years and still nothing.
It is well known that most farm workers in the United States are undocumented workers.
Look, the fact is that our food supply, important to our food supply and our food chain, are undocumented workers.
These migrant workers made a Thanksgiving meal outside of the White House to remind the American people who grows the food on their tables.
You see everything here picked, by immigrant labor.
I would like to tell President Obama to give us something serious, something where we can be safe and secure and raise our families.
They hope President Obama's immigration announcement tonight will give them a reason to be thankful.
Go big or go home.
So they too can enjoy their hard work on Thanksgiving.
And so I have to cut this potato so that all of us can eat mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving.
In a meeting yesterday, the president of the United Farm Workers was told by President Obama that rules in the executive action will protect 250,000 farm workers from deportation. Live in Washington, D.C., Brittany Bade, Cronkite News.
Now, another immigration protest coming from Washington used a different approach. Dreamers Moms USA started a hunger strike earlier this month, and reporter Stephen Hicks tells us that because of the president's announcement tonight, they're excited to break their fast.
Any food? Have you not had any food in 8 days?
No, only water.
Alejandra is an undocumented former Arizona resident who joined the group Dreamers Moms USA. They've been staying at this church in Washington, and while she's been without food for the last 8 days, others in the group have been going for 18. For one mother, the fast proved to be too much. 3 days ago, she fainted in front of the White House during one of the group's vigils.
With this fast, what we are trying to show is there is people ready to sacrifice themselves in order to push for administrative relief.
Relief that is expected to come tonight when President Obama announces his executive plan on immigration reform. For these moms, it comes just in time for Thanksgiving.
We were initially told that the end would come at Thanksgiving. Our fasting has been very effective because the president is going to act sooner than we expected.
While it may be sooner than expected, she's already planned her first meal.
Chicken soup. I think we're going to celebrate by eating chicken soup.
Early background on the president's president's speech tonight indicates relief for 5 million undocumented immigrants. For these fasting mothers, that means the hunger strike was a success. But Edgar said they will continue fighting until Congress passes comprehensive immigration reform.
We might stop the fast, but we are not going to stop organizing.
In Washington, D.C., Stephen Hicks, Cronkite News.
Now, of course, Arizona is one of the states emphatically pursuing immigration reform. But some Valley leaders say that executive action is not the way to make it happen. Reporter Megan Thompson looked into the huge implications of the president's decision right here in Arizona.
We need those in Congress to quit worrying about the next election and worry about the next generation and do something. Pass a dang bill.
Strong words here in the Valley from local leaders who say taking executive action on immigration reform is the wrong way to go.
It's sort of fool's gold for those people who think it'd be great, but it really wouldn't. I think it's a mistake politically, and I think it's a mistake if you really want to fix a broken system.
Conservative leaders and business owners gathered today in Mesa, hoping their voice at a border state would reach our nation's capital.
And this is an effort before there's a street fight over President Obama's executive action. We wanted to plead with everyone, let's work together and get this fixed.
They want Congress to work together, but State Senator Steve Gallardo says too little, too late.
They've had so many opportunities to address immigration. They have failed to want to do it. They had made it clear this is not a priority for them.
Gallardo says Congress had its chance last year when the Senate passed a wide-ranging immigration bill that was then shot down by the House.
Let's use that executive authority. Let's start stopping families from being separated. Let's take those first steps. We still need other issues to be resolved, and I think that's something Congress needs to do, but it's time for the president to act, and act now.
Overall, both sides agree there isn't a perfect answer to the border battle. They just want to see some form of legislative action instead of an executive one.
There are people out there, Republican leaders, who demand action, who are tired of the chaos, and who want them to put aside the politics, if that's possible, and do something that's right for the country.
And Yahaira Jaquez is at the Capitol where citizens await the president's address. Yahaira?
Here at the Capitol, a watch party is set to start at 5 p.m. It's hosted by Promise Arizona. Immigration leaders, community members, and families are going to gather to watch the president's speech and see what his executive action means for them. Earlier, I spoke to one undocumented immigrant who hopes this plan will include him.
All eyes will be on President Obama tonight as he unveils his immigration plan, including David Reese's. The undocumented immigrant knows it's likely the president's plan won't help him, but he's still hopeful.
I don't have kids. All I have is my 9 years of work here doing what I can, so I hope I'm not left out.
The Mexico native most likely won't be covered because the plan is only expected to protect undocumented immigrants with children who are U.S. citizens. They will be allowed to stay and work here legally.
Do is defer deportations. That means that individuals do not even have a lawful status. They're just lawfully present for the time being. However, because their deportation is deferred, the government can also give them the opportunity to work.
The executive action is planned to protect up to 5 million people. And according to the Migration Policy Institute, about 3.5 million undocumented parents will be protected.
The executive order that shields up to 5 million people from deportation is not enough, but it does pressure Congress to act on immigration reform.
For Reese, he no longer wants to be in the shadows.
I would like for the president to use his executive action to protect everyone. Whether they have children or not, the people that have been here for 7 or 8 years also want the opportunity to stay.
It's expected that another key component of President Obama's immigration plan will expand eligibility beyond 30 years old for the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, also known as DACA. Live at the Capitol, Yahaira Jaquez, Cronkite News.
Thank you, Yahaira. Now let's hand it over to Bethany Reed with what's next on Cronkite News.
A Valley theater is acting on the issue of disconnected youth. See how their newest production is raising awareness. And despite the prevalence of anti-smoking campaigns, a new report shows that teens are still picking up the unhealthy habit.
Brothers and sisters, can you tell me where to go?
The women were breaking the glass ceiling.
That just thrilled me.
We're traveling back in time to help solve family mysteries.
No.
Way! That's
Amazing.
A new deal for the American people.
We wouldn't be who we are without them.
I just gotta get on back to my home at any cost.
Who were the people that got us from there?
A world without glass, clean drinking water, time, or light.
To here.
These were hobbyists, garage inventors, and obsessive tinkerers. These are people who actually made the modern world, who set off an amazing chain reaction of ideas.
It's the story of How We Got to Now with Stephen Johnson, coming in October, only on PBS.
I'm standing up for myself and for other people like me.
Wow. This is a bit odd.
Are you okay?
It's kind of insane, but in a good way.
Welcome back. One organization is hoping to draw attention to an issue that affects nearly 1 in 5 young adults in Phoenix, and it's doing so through an artistic medium. Cronkite News reporter Samantha Davis shows us how the city is trying to engage disconnected youth through theater.
Come on guys, just made it. If you're late tomorrow, you're going straight to the principal's office.
This isn't going to be a play you've seen before.
It's just pretty much about students dropping out and just going back to school, getting motivated.
At Phoenix's Rising Youth Theater, these actors are hoping to produce a final product that will put a spotlight on an issue affecting a huge portion of Phoenix's youth.
Pretty much Phoenix has a high rate on students dropping out, teenagers in high school.
And young adults aged 16 to 24 who aren't in school and aren't working are considered disconnected. A study by Measures of America found this is a problem that affects 1 in 7 young adults nationwide. Here in Phoenix, that number is 1 in 5. And in some zip codes, according to the Maricopa County Superintendent of Schools, are as high as 1 in 2.
And that's basically because, to a large extent, young people have given up hope. And without hope, you don't have any future. And that's what's really making this a critical issue for our community.
But that makes programs like this play all the more important. Not only is it bringing attention to the problem, but it's also helping to re-engage youth.
For this play, we partnered with an organization called Genesis, that is this really incredible charter school. It's an alternative school, and they basically exist to serve young people that have either disengaged from education, who have dropped out and are coming back, or people who are at risk of disengaging.
In fact, some of the student actors are from Genesis and can draw on their own experiences to make sure the play really resonates with the community.
It's not seen as something that's supposed to teach us about why people are dropping out, but that it's something that's supposed to start a conversation about how we can support the young people in our community.
So hopefully the scene that is set on stage for this play can show a potentially better reality for Phoenix's disconnected youth.
That was Samantha Davis reporting. The play Disengaged by the Rising Youth Theater will premiere the week of December 5th. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, 23% of teenagers are using tobacco products. Cronkite News reporter Katrina Arroyos explains how the powerful habit is starting younger and younger.
For non-traditional graduate student Renard Smith, smoking at a young age was more of a fun hobby with his friends.
Sounds crazy. I wanted to smoke, do smoke rings, so I was just doing that and wasn't really smoking.
His hobby turned into his habit once he joined the military. Smith believes the only reason he continues to smoke cigarettes is due to stress when he has it.
Because I don't even really smoke for taste, or didn't matter what cigarette, you know, people like brands, and me, it's just, a lot of times I can go without if I don't have them.
And it's not just cigarettes. According to this report, 13% of teens are using more than one type of tobacco product. We're talking cigars, dip, and even vapes and hookahs.
And these teens aren't thinking about the future. The CDC says 5.6 million are at risk of a premature death from smoking-related diseases, but the habit has a tight grip.
When they start so young, they get addicted right away to the nicotine and the tobacco products, and then will continue to use them throughout their life. And it takes almost 7 to 10 times for any one person just to quit.
Renard Smith knows that all too well.
I wore the patch for like 2 days, and and then stopped after that.
But he still has hope. He says he'll try to quit again once the stress of school subsides.
And today is the Great American Smokeout, so those who are choosing to quit smoking can do so today to take a breath of fresh air. And what better way to do so than on this beautiful day? We're sitting at 73 degrees right now with a 12% humidity and a dew point of 18 degrees. Looking at the rest of the nation, I'm glad I'm here in Phoenix at 73 degrees because Fargo's at 20, Chicago at 23, St. Louis at 34. All the southern portion of the nation, we're sitting relatively comfortably at the lower 70s to upper 60s. Tonight, we're going to cool off to 51 degrees with partly cloudy skies. The clouds will remain tomorrow due to this low pressure above Northern California that's going to make its way into Arizona, rest on top of us tomorrow, and then move on to New Mexico. And that low pressure is going to bring us a 10% chance of rain in the valley. So don't be surprised if you see sprinkles here and there tomorrow. But the rain won't last long because going into this weekend, skies are going to clear up and temperatures are going to be sitting at 70 degrees on Saturday and Sunday, bump down to 69 degrees on Monday, and up to 71 degrees on Tuesday. For Cronkite Weather, I'm Katrina Arroyos.
And here's Lacey Darrow for a look at what's coming up on Cronkite News.
ASU hockey is skating up to the big leagues. This season, the Sun Devils join a new division of competitors after a surprise announcement. And it's a new mission to highlight the history on the Valley roadways, which now share space with the light rail.
News doesn't stop on Friday at 7:30 at night. PBS NewsHour Weekend is kind of a natural next step. The NewsHour's been committed to being available on air or online, and now weekdays or weekends. There's no shortage of news that's out there, but why do people come to us? To give them some context and analysis that they can't find somewhere else.
PBS NewsHour Weekend, only on PBS. Check local listings.
These extraordinary Americans all share one thing in common, a past they never knew until now.
It's incredible.
In his new season on PBS, Henry Louis Gates Jr. helps them uncover the truth about where they come from.
I can't believe these documents even exist.
Wow. Get to know them as they discover who they really are.
That's pretty amazing.
Finding Your Roots with Henry Louis Gates Jr. starts Tuesday, September 23rd at 8, 7 Central, only on PBS.
I'm free. I'm free. And freedom tastes of reality.
The Sun Devils are adding ice to the fire. ASU Athletics is officially adding Division I hockey to their roster.
It may still be warm outside, but the desert around ASU just got a little colder. Ray Anderson, Vice President of University Athletics, made a major announcement regarding the ASU Sun Devil Hockey Club team Tuesday.
ASU hockey will compete as a Division I varsity program.
The announcement comes as many major universities around the country are making cuts to their varsity sports teams. The addition of the hockey team as a D1 sport will be the 23rd varsity team for ASU. The university is also looking to add another women's sport to the lineup for the 2016 academic year, making the total number of varsity sports 24.
Lacrosse is being considered as a primary focus, and women's rowing or crew is also under consideration.
The status change was made largely possible from a multi-million-dollar donation, the largest in Sun Devil athletics history. Don and Chris Mullet, a father and son team, came together to give $32 million to elevate the program from a club to a varsity sport. Greg Powers, who has been with the team since 2010, will step in as the first varsity hockey coach for ASU.
Greg exemplifies something beyond what I would have ever expected
with a club program.
The excitement from the announcement could be felt around the room. Left-wing senior Fez Khan said that his phone hasn't stopped ringing with texts and phone calls since the rumored announcement was made public.
I got a lot of friends and people ask me, how do we get here, you know, and it's pretty cool to see.
Although he will be graduating this year and won't be able to compete as a D1 hockey athlete, he's happy to have had a place in the team's history.
It's exciting to know that I was part of the program that helped maybe start a Pac-12 conference in college hockey.
Anderson also said that there is a lot of work left to do to create revenue streams for the teams, but the team itself is pretty fired up. Cronkite News reporter Tana Hughes had a chance to catch up with the players and see their reaction now that the news has finally sunk in.
The ASU hockey team took the ice yesterday morning for their first practice since the big announcement. A higher division means more competition, and their attitudes were a reflection of what's to come.
It's definitely a wake-up call. I mean, obviously we need to stay focused at the task at hand. We still have, more than half a season to go.
Former Arizona youth hockey player Michael Cummings thinks that this change is not only a positive contribution to college-level hockey, but youth hockey as well.
So now that this is here, kids in the valley are gonna all want to come here, play for their home school.
Sophomore forward Ryan Ostertag led the team last season by scoring 2 of the 3 game-winning goals against Robert Morris University. That 3-1 victory made them the ACHA Division I champions for the first time in ASU history.
In the championship game, again, I was just in the right spot at the right time.
But due to a recent injury, Ostertag hasn't been on the ice in more than 60 days. He is heading back to his hometown in Canada today for the remainder of the year.
I didn't really think it was going to be a long term, but it's kind of ended up lagging out a little bit longer than I expected. So I'm kind of just trying to stay positive right now and taking myself day by day.
With an 18-2 record this season and a second-place national ranking just behind Central Oklahoma, Ostertag hopes to return fully improved in the beginning of 2015 to help the team have another chance at a national title. In Tempe, Tana Hughes, Cronkite News.
Now let's go back to Annalise Ortiz for a look at what's next.
Thank you, Lacey. The light rail is going retro. We'll take you inside the artistic efforts to liven up your next ride.
Should I believe in the world, mama?
I think so.
Should I give up and hide, or should I stay and fight? Should I believe in the rules, mama?
What are the consequences?
Can I speak out my mind in these changing times? I don't know what to believe, mama.
Will you march with us?
There's a fire inside, there's a storm on the rise. Give me a reason to be, mama.
Buonasera.
The world is more complicated than it's ever been.
The NewsHour is always going to take you deeper and take you broader.
And that is worth fighting for.
Night after night, 7 days a week.
I'm Maria Hinojosa.
I'm Gwen Eichel.
And I'm Judy Woodruff.
On behalf of all of us here, thanks for watching.
Friday nights, it's the PBS Arts Fall Festival with our host, Emmy and Tony Award winner Kristen Chenoweth.
Join me for an incredible season of performances and stars, including Emma Thompson, Nathan Lane, the best of Austin City Limits, Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga, and so many more. It's the very best of the arts every Friday night.
The PBS Arts Fall Festival starts Friday, September 26th at 9/8 Central, only on PBS.
Welcome back. A partnership between ArtLink and Phoenix Valley Metro will be dressing up some of the city's light rail platforms. Cronkite News reporter Nicole Stein is in downtown Phoenix with a preview. Nicole?
That's right, Annalise. If you plan on taking the light rail in the next couple of weeks, make sure you take a second to stop and look around you. You might be pleasantly surprised with what you see. Some new artwork.
But I paint pretty much anything somebody needs painted.
Especially cars. That's been artist Lucretia Torva's niche for the past 5 years.
This painting with the car in it, and I thought, wow, that's a lot of fun. Can I do cars for the next 5 or 6 years? Could I do nothing but cars? And the answer was yes.
When she learned about the opportunity through ArtLink to create something for the light rail stations, she knew she wanted to participate.
I wanted to put into it a real vibrancy, and so I put neon signs and things in there, and one of the stakeholders has this saying, live, work, and play. In other words, do everything in that community. So I put that in big lights across some buildings.
And that community feeling is what ArtLink hopes to provide.
They've been working, the city planning department has been working in neighborhood services with different neighborhoods along the light rail to get a sense of what these neighborhoods are all about, what the people that live there care about, and how they see a better future.
We're not allowed to see the completed artwork just yet, but we can tell you it's an 8-foot mesh banner. It will be hung at the Central and McDowell station, and residents in that area provided input as to what they thought should be included.
So there's actually a couple really cool things in there that was something they suggested, and I was able to implement. So that's my job, is creatively taking their suggestions and bringing them to life.
The artwork at the Central and McDowell stations should be unveiled sometime in the next few weeks. And in the coming months, several other light rail stations should be getting a similar makeover. Live in downtown Phoenix, Nicole Stein, Cronkite News.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. Good night.